असङ्गोऽहं पुनः पुनः सच्चिदानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः नित्यशुद्धविमुक्तोऽहम् निराकारोऽहमव्ययः भूमानन्दस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः नित्योऽहं निरवध्योऽहम् निराकारोऽहमच्युतः परमानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः शुद्धचैतन्यरूपोऽहम् आत्मा रामोऽहमेव च अखण्डानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः प्रत्यक्षचैतन्यरूपोऽहम् शान्तोऽहं प्रकृतेः परः शाश्वतानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः तत्त्वातीतपरात्माहम् मध्यातीतः परशिवः मायातीतपरञ्ज्योतिः अहमेवाहमव्ययः नानारूपव्यतीतोऽहम् चिदाकारोऽहमच्युतः सुखरूपस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः माया तत्कार्यदेहादि मम नास्त्येव सर्वदा स्वप्रकाशैकरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः गुणत्रयव्यतीतोऽहम् ब्रह्मादीनां च साक्ष्यहम् अनन्तानन्दरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः अन्तर्ज्योतिस्वरूपोऽहम् कूटस्थः सर्वगोऽस्म्यहम् सर्वसाक्षिस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः द्वन्द्वादिसाक्षिरूपोऽहम् अचलोऽहं सनातनः सर्वसाक्षिस्वरूपोऽहम् स्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः प्रज्ञानघन एवाहम् विज्ञानघन एव च अकर्ताहम् अभोक्ताहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः निराधारस्वरूपोऽहम् सर्वाधारोऽहमेव च आप्तकामस्वरूपोऽहम् अहमेवाहमव्ययः तापत्रयविनिर्मुक्तः देहत्रयविलक्षणः अवस्थात्रयसाक्ष्यस्मि अहमेवाहमव्ययः दृग्दृश्यौ द्वौ पदार्थौ स्तः परस्परविलक्षणौ दृग्ब्रह्मदृश्यं मायेति सर्ववेदान्तडिण्डिमः अहं साक्षीति यो विद्यात् विविच्यैवं पुनः पुनः स एव मुक्तः स विद्वान् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः घटकुड्यादिकं सर्वं मृत्तिकामात्रमेव च तद्वद्ब्रह्म जगत्सर्वम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः ब्रह्म सत्यं जगन्मिथ्या जीवो ब्रह्मैव नापरः अनेन वेद्यं सच्छास्त्रम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः अन्तर्ज्योति बहिर्ज्योतिः प्रत्यग्ज्योतिः परात्परः ज्योतिज्योति स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिशिवोऽस्म्यहम् ज्योतिज्योति स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिशिवो.
Hari Om. Good evening. A very warm welcome to all of you. Please come. Let's invoke the power of praying together and seek the blessings of the Almighty. Om. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amrutam gamaya sahana vavatu sahanau bhunaktu sahaviryankara vavahai tejasvina vadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai om shanti 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 hari om tat sat Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord the Almighty, the omniscient, the omnipotent, the omnipresent, who also has the divine names Mahaarhah, Swabhaavah, to such a divine supreme reality, together with Shraddha, Bhakti and Prapatti, we offer our humble most salutations to seek His grace, His love, His mercy, His kindness, His benevolence, His strength, His forgiveness. O Lord, bless us with the divine qualities such as Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya, Prapatti and Mumukshutva in a much more enhanced proportion. This is only and only to understand Thy true self, what we have been pursuing with these qualities. We think it's not enough. You need to enhance the proportion so that we can understand Thy true self in this very life and life alone. Without Your grace, nothing can happen. And we beseech again and again to make it happen for all of us. It's Your grace and Your kindness, Your mercy, that You have given us a willpower to pursue this spiritual endeavor in the utmost truthful manner. Our salutations to Ishvara, Shastra and Guru Parampara. Om Tat Sat. By the grace of Almighty and the blessings of Guru Parampara, today we are on our Divine Discourse number 467 and the Aparoksha Anubhuti series 54. On the 10th of March 2026, Swasti Shri Vishwavasunama Samvatsara Uttarayana Falguna Masa Krishna Paksha Bhaumavasare Saptamyatitau Anuradha Nakshatra Harshana Nama Yoge Bhavakarani. On this auspicious day of Tuesday and the auspicious time of the evening, we all gear up once again to reaffirm and revisit our solemn prayer. Naham karta hari karta, hari preranaya hari prityartam. Everything is happening as ordained by the Divine. Not a wee bit is at my mercy or at my control or as per my wish. If at all I am thinking that I am doing, that would be out of sheer ignorance. So, Lord, give me that constant understanding in every experience that I am a sure witness between what is happening and who is ordaining. Let this be a constant factor in my life. And ensure that I don't fall into the trap of being a doer. Our salutations once again to the Guru Parampara, Shastra and the Ishvara. Om Tat Sat. Hari Om everybody. Just a sec, I think the pic needs some adjustment. Is it clear now? Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Now, we have studied up to verse 132 in the previous session. Where Bhagavan Shankaracharya, now his teaching is over in terms of the techniques. And he is trying to make an impact on our mind by nudging us, by scaring us, by instructing us. He tries all possible manners, and these instructions are precaution. See, here you can go wrong. So better be careful. The next few shlokas are in great depth actually. What I can say to my understanding is, based on your progress on this particular path, you should either get a doubt of the next level, or if you have a doubt, you will get a clarification to move forward. I'll be talking more from my own personal experience, what would work and what would not work. And that also means that what has worked for me may not work for others. But try, why not? Because we are all on the same platform. We are all grahasthas. So our way of thinking, our way of living, all this is more or less the same. See, if I was a monk or a Swamiji, then what would have happened? It would have been at a different level where we have relinquished everything. And so your point of view would always be different. The amount of time you can give would be different. So you can try this. Now, one more thing I try to, while I was preparing, I tried to realize and understand. We will be, as far as certain shlokas which you will see, maybe I may not complete it at one go. I'll tell you a bit of it. You put your mind and heart and try to understand that, and then we'll take the next level in the next class. See, the reason is too much, it is quite heavy. What is it that they are saying? I'll try to simplify to my best extent possible. But I feel, it would be a kind of a revision. Tell you half of it and then revise that half and then go to the next half. We'll take that kind of a approach. So 133, 34 and maybe 135 also we'll try to do today. And the most important thing is how our perceptions eventually show us that God factor, what we call. So today we will take a taste. We have done the perception of sound, we have done the perception of sight. Now remember, although the perceptory organs are situated in different locations on our face, but they eventually all go to our brain. But at the same time, we know that in the brain there are different centers which are taking care of each and every perceptory sense organ. So where does it go and what is that which makes us get the experience? Because this is directly related to what Bhagavan Shankaracharya is talking here about, the doorway to realization. So if we understand that, then what happens is, in every experience of our daily life, pratibodha viditam matam amrutatva vindyate. Pratibodha viditam matam means what? In every experience of ours in our daily life, amrutatva vindyate. It will show you that amrutatva, or that supreme truth, that reality. So there is what we are practicing, Naham Karta Hari Karta. You will see that who is that Hari over here? What is he doing? How is he doing? Where is he doing? Now you say Naham Karta Hari Karta. Where? Okay, that is from a Bhakta point of view, it makes sense. But from a Jnani point of view, how does it make sense? Think. And if you notice over there, when we have understood these techniques, where scientifically you draw your verticals and you know that stage to stage now we are moving on these lines, and somewhere there is that God factor happening. That is what we need to get acclimatized or attached to. So in this way we will take the sense perception part. And coming to the Vritrasura story, which has been going on for long, today is where he gets the Brahmavidya finally, from none other than Adishesha. Okay, so we'll take that particular Brahmavidya, because here also I am seeing that these verses are all towards that Brahmavidya only, very subtle. So far the technique was given. Now he says, okay, you have the technique, but what are you going to realize with this technique? That is what is being discussed in these crucial verses. So I'm not going to rush on them, and let's keep moving, but at the same time achieving the highest possible knowledge what one can claim to have in one's human life. Okay, let's begin. We start with verse 133. Come. Shri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaramishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokana Karanam Tam Namamyaham. So, verse 133. Kushala Brahmavartayam Vrittihina Sura Ginaha Tepya Gnanataya Nunam Punarayanti Yanticha. So we have got two meanings over here. One is what you can see on your screen. Also those persons who are only clever in discussing about Brahman but have no realization and are very much attached to worldly pleasures are born and die again and again in consequence of their ignorance. And what Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda's commentary says, those who are experts in vain talk about Brahman, and those who do not practice are indeed ignorant, and they are born to die again and again. Okay. Now let's decipher this now. I would rate this under the category of a warning. What is the warning Bhagavan Shankaracharya is giving here? If you want to be born again, then you have to die. So what is that which makes you die and be born and die and be born? In other words, they say die and die and die again. Okay? And not as only humans, you can be anything. So we know about this. So here, with reference to this birth and death, to whom is he talking? Not to an ordinary human. He is talking to a person who is in Brahmajnana, who is pursuing Brahmajnana. He is telling, you may be talking big, you may know everything about Brahmajnana, but mind you, my dear friend, he says, if you have been only talking and you don't practice, then he says, you are going to be born to die again. So which means what? Only having the knowledge has got no relevance over here. Having a plate full of food when you are hungry in front of you is not going to take care of your hunger. you have to eat it. So eating here is like you have to practice. That is so very clear, without which you will not be able to get on what you are planning to get or endeavoring to get. So Kushala means experts. Brahmavartayam vrittihina. They are in vain talking about Brahman. Only in vain. But Suraginaha are those who practice. So again and again we have to tell our mind, are we practicing? Are we practicing what we are learning? This is extremely important. I'll tell you my personal experience here. There is nothing more to understand. We have understood it in so many ways, so many times. But you need to keep listening again and again, contemplating again and again. You have to keep doing that Nama Japa, which is like cleansing your vessel. Because you're daily cooking, you should not only cleanse your vessel and keep the vessel inside. What is the use of cleaning such a vessel when you're not going to cook? Cooking is like that practice. So you have to Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana, keep doing it. And now, why is this so important to be in this satsang and keep listening to the words of Brahman? Is, I tell you, that is the key. You are showing to that Supreme Almighty that my only quest in life, my only endeavor, my only goal in life is to reach you, to become you. And it's like a radar going on. It's watching everybody what they're doing. If somebody is showing that kind of an importance, I tell you, it will not take. It's at a flick of a finger for that reality, because that reality has to show itself. It's there all, everywhere. And now when you see how these perceptions, they flash in your mind, it is that experience which is happening inside the mind. The object is outside. The object of perception is outside in different forms. It could be in terms of Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. Shabda is sound, Sparsha is touch, Rupa is sight, Rasa is taste, Gandha is smell. In these ways, it is there outside, but finally it clicks in your mind. That is why we see many people, they see the same thing, but they understand it differently. So all that understanding and experience happens inside the mind. And how much time does it take for that reality to show itself? And for us to impress upon it, you have to pursue again and again. And don't make it a part-time thing, or for sake of passion. Weekly I once a week or twice a week I pursue my passion. No, it has to be constantly there. Now, as they say, one should not have a restless mind. A sadhak should not have a restless mind. He should have a peaceful mind. But Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, they say he had a restless mind. Now what was his restless mind? His mind was constantly restless, thinking of Ma Kali. He was completely in that state, always restless. But a common person, what happens? His mind is also restless, just like Sri Ramakrishna's mind is restless. A common man's life is also, mind is restless, but it is towards the world. So make your mind restless with reference to the divine. I want this, I want this, I want this. Whatever way it is, eventually, some people are there, you see in a short time, they will come to that same subject. Ubiquitously. They will land up there. How is that? Because their focus is on that. Some have a habit of praising themselves. Okay, so they'll say, I did this, I did that. I had gone there and so thing happened, and they will, you can see them. You will know, oh, this person has come in. He will eventually, in a few minutes, he will land on that subject. So, make your mind focused on Brahman. This is one very easy technique of achieving what we want to achieve. I was earlier thinking, how can you understand something where you cannot use your sense organs to understand, and you cannot use your mind to understand? How can you achieve it then? Then when we were discussing our gurus, they told us, show your interest. I want you, I want you, I want you. Just keep thinking that way. And now what do you think? That is also a question. Now it will come in these verses. We will touch upon those points. What do you think? Is there something which you can think about? It says it's beyond the human mind. These are the extravagant catches. So, for that, the technique which I used was neti neti. Neti means not this, not this, not this, not this. Just keep doing not this. Because anything you point and say, is this Brahman? It is not. It is na idam chaitanyam. Na idam chaitanyam is again a phrase by the Upanishads. Anything you say, oh, is this that Brahman what we are talking about? Na idam, it is not this. Take it for granted it is not this. Then how do you understand this? So just keep coming out of whatever is under your perception or under your understanding. This is not that supreme reality or power. And earnestness and naidam or neti neti. These two have really worked for me. So you see how you can incorporate in your sadhana. Because it's beyond a point, we cannot do anything over here. We can only understand, show our earnestness and move forward on this. And we have been doing this. I tell you, amazing. This kind of a rundown of 6-year continuous courses, at least I have not heard about it. It could be a month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. And some cases are 2.5, 3 years. But here see where are we have landed. So let's keep it on, but have these in mind. So now here what he says, Kushala Brahma Vartayam Vrittihina Suraginaha. So meaning you practice what you have heard. Just don't try to be an expert in trying to say things. And once you do this, then what happens is you don't have to come back, or you don't have to be born again. There's a story in this happened about 60-70 years ago in Vrindavan. There was a bhakta, and somebody had gone to his house. So, and he took that person, his guest, to the temple. And a rich man had a lot of servants at home and good infrastructure and all that. So this guest of his goes along with him to the temple. And there, half an hour, this person was dancing in glory, singing the name of Lord Krishna, reaching the peaks. And he was quite fair, so obviously his face was red, glowing red. This guest of his was impressed. My God, what bhakti this person has. And after the puja was over, he came back along with him. They entered the house and he asked for water. Obviously he must be thirsty after having danced so much. He asked for water, and he had a favorite pitcher of his, a small pot which is made out of clay. He had that. So now the servant comes there. He brings it in a glass. He asks him, where is my pitcher in which I drink that drink water, which is pretty quite cold and soothing. And the servant started trembling, and he yelled at him. He said, "Why are you trembling?" He said, "Sir, I was washing it and it slipped from my hand and it broke." Now he gets up from his chair and he starts beating him left, right, center, yelling at him, shouting at him. And again his face got red. Obviously, because he's fair, and with that kind of blood pushing to his head, he was looking red. So while dancing in bhakti, he was looking red. And here again, in a few minutes, less than an hour, less than half an hour you can say, he is again looking red. Where is that bhakti? Where is that knowledge of Krishna in practical life? So he may be knowing Kushala Brahmavartayam. He is an expert who is able to sing, dance, and talk about Krishna profoundly. But when it comes to his practical life, he was nothing. So this is what they say, you have to be careful. Your entire life as it is unfolding on a daily basis, keep observing your own self. How was I yesterday? How was I last week? How was I 1 month before? How was I 1 year back? And do that introspection. That itself will show you how you are progressing in life. It once so happened in Rishikesh, a Swamiji of ours was mentioning, that they were learning a text from one of the gurus over there, a renowned enlightened guru so-called. He had some issue with his stomach and he took some treatment for a few days. Very frail, thin. I think on the 4th or 5th day he comes to deliver his class. Summertime, he didn't have an upper cloth. It was quite hot. And everybody who was sitting in front of him could see that he was not that well. So he was perspiring. Heat outside and uneasiness inside. Perspiring like beyond what normally anybody would perspire. So then a few students, they talk amongst themselves and they say, Maharaj, why are you taking so much trouble? It's okay if you don't take a class today. You please go and take rest. Then immediately he says, what are you saying? And then he tells them a story now. He says, look, there was one old lady. She had a small piece of land in front of her house and she used to grow some vegetables with which she could use it for herself, and most of it she would sell so that she could buy some grains and other things what are required for cooking. So that was her main income for the family. That's all what she could do, and she knew. And to protect it from all the birds which used to come over there and peck and eat those tender leaves or those vegetables, she used to take a tin and she used to beat the tin so that they used to get scared and run away. One day it so happened that a camel came there. And as soon as the camel came, like it found it something nice. There are cabbages, some green leaf vegetables. So it tried to put its mouth onto the vegetables. Now she's taking that tin and she's banging it with all her strength. And as you all can understand, obviously the camel was able to talk. So the camel tells that lady, oh lady, old lady, What is it you are doing? I am a war camel. When I am in war, there is to be all sorts of drums, trumpets, and anything which can make noise to the maximum extent were played all around me. And what is this? You are taking a tin and you are banging in front of me. Do you think I'm going to get afraid because of this? And then this Swamiji says, I am that infinite ocean of existence. I am that infinite ocean of consciousness in which this body is floating. See, that is, he was centered in knowledge. He says, what can this do to me? And you all are telling me, go and take rest. Come, let's start. And he took the class. See, that is where Kushala means he has become an expert by practicing. There will be so many situations in our life where we tend to shrink. It says, lift yourself. You are not this person what you are talking about. You are something much higher than what you know and what you thought. You are much higher than that. Now rewire your mind, rewire your brain, and go to those exalted levels of understanding and live a life accordingly. So this way we need to say that just knowing, you may be an expert, anybody may ask you a question, you may be able to answer, but finally it comes, how much are you disturbed in life? This is the key to each and every aspect. And that disturbance can be to the minimum. That is the biggest advantage of this entire study. Is Atyantika Dukkha Nivritti. Your sorrows, cessation of all sorrows. How? Because you have understood your true self. And Paramananda Prapti. Because you are in a state of bliss. You have understood yourself, true self, to be something else which is nothing other than bliss. Paramananda. So watch this. Continuously as you are doing, watch this, and then you will see how things progress in life. Okay, now we move on to 134. Nishedhartam natishtanti vrittim brahmamayim vina yata tishtanti brahmadyaha sanakadyaha shukadayaha. The aspirants after Brahman should not remain a single moment without the thought of Brahman, just like Brahma, Sanaka, Sukha and others. The other commentary is, just as Brahma, Sanaka, Sukha and others, the real aspirants cannot remain even for a moment without the thought of Brahman. See, as you all can see over here, it is what we discussed in the beginning, that if you have to be established in this knowledge, you have to have nothing else other than this thought. Reason is, as we said, how are you showing that this is so important for me? You have to show that. And what is your main goal in life? My main goal is self-realization, which is already within us. As Swami Vivekananda says, you don't have to go somewhere and fetch it. That which is already within us, knowing that to be the truth and reality and pursuing your life for that, that is the highest goal what one can talk about in life. So, as Panchadashi Swami Vidyaranya says, Tat Katanam, Tat Chintanam, Parasparam, Tat Prabodhanam. Etadekam paratvam hi brahmabhyasam vidur buddha. Vidur means the ones who have realized, Buddha, the wise, Vidur is wise, sorry, and Buddha is the ones who have realized how tat katanam, always talking about it. So for that, what you need to do? You need to be at satsang. You can talk about Brahman and you can talk about spirituality with spiritual seekers. You can't talk with anybody else. So you have to first see what your campus is. Who are the persons around you? And see that now your goals have changed in life. Raise and be in the company of such people. If you don't find anybody of that kind, then be with your own mind. Your mind is always there with you. Tat katanam, talk about it. Tat chintanam, think about it if nobody is there. Then parasparam tat prabodhanam, explaining to each other. Thereby you are improving your knowledge and you are also getting to learn from what the other person is, his or her thoughts are about. And then etadekam paratvam hi. So this one pointed goal about Brahman, or this kind of focus on that reality, that will Brahmabhyasam Vidur Buddha. Only that can take you to the final goal in terms of the realization of Brahman. So Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. This again comes from an Upanishad. The one who is constantly thinking about Brahman becomes Brahman. Now initially what it is, when we are learning Paroksha Jnana, somebody else's knowledge, what it is coming, Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. All this is Brahman, isn't it? This is what we learnt initially. But how long are you going to stay in this knowledge? You have to graduate. You can't be in the same nursery or primary. You have to graduate. So eventually it has to become Aham Brahmasmi. That is the Aparoksha Jnana. Aham Brahmasmi. From Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. So that way he says, you have to raise your standards, keep moving. And what are we talking about? XYZ doing this. Brahma, the creator. Now Brahman is different and Brahma is different. Normally, we all know by this time. Many people can get confused when we talk of Brahman, means we are talking about Brahma. After that we have Vishnu, then Maheshwara. No, not the Trimurti Brahma. It is Brahman is that Sat Chit Ananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. In science, it is, as we know, FEV, frequency, energy and vibration. Which, how does it reflect in us? In thought, action, TAB, breath. When is the state where you are not aware of one or more or all the three of this? Constantly we are aware. Either a thought is coming or some action is happening, and breath is there all the time as a foundation to everything. Foundation to the action and to the thought. Breath is constantly there. So you are constantly connected with that universe. So this way, now the sadhak, he is saying Brahma, Sanaka and Sukha. Sukha and Sanaka is Sukamuni, Vedavyasa's son, and Brahma is one among the Trimurtis, and the Sanaka is the son of Brahma again. All these great noble souls of the highest order are practicing this. See, don't we see how does fashion come into this world? Anybody who has achieved something in life, why are they paid crores and crores to endorse their product? Because the moment somebody takes a product and he says, I use this shampoo, then you somehow get inspired. Oh, I should also use this. Or I use this car. Then you also feel inspired. So here it is on the same lines. It is Brahma, Sanaka, Sukha, those kind of people. They're all endorsing over here actually. What product? Brahman product. They are practicing. So you also should practice this. How? Nishedhartham, nimeshartham means not even half a moment you should be out of this thought. Make it a constant thought. Remain in that Brahmamayam Vrittim, that thought of that supreme truth. Vina, without. Tishtanti, just remain. Without oscillating yourself, remain in that thought. So as I told you, the most important fence we can create for ourselves here is be in divine company. That is the first thing you have to do, that clipping all around. See who all are there, what kind of talks they do, what kind of things they do. All that you need to do that homework and try to play around over there. Till now you were there. Suddenly you say, I don't want to go there. How? Yes, my goal has changed in life. That way. Be in that thought. And you will be in the league of the supreme most souls which one can ever think of in life. They are that Brahma, Sukha and Sanaka. That way. Come, we'll move on to 135. Now this is the... So what he did in the first, the verse which we discussed, he is trying to prompt us. You know, in that like glamour, he is showing us, this you see, such people are doing it. And how do you do it? Without a break, keep doing it. And before that he warned us, you want to die again and again? Then you might have learnt, you may be thinking that, oh, I've learnt all this, now I've already crossed. No, you have to practice. He wants us over there. And then before that, what did he say? He says, you know, there may be people who simply talk. Don't come under that category. You should be the one where you perfect with this knowledge and not just talk about it. Clear instructions. This is how you have to go. And it's not that he is telling you take a left here, take a right here. As the crow flies, direct flight. As the crow flies. And reach your destination at the earliest. Okay, verse 135. Karye karanatayata कारणे नहि कार्यता कारणत्वं ततो गच्छेत् कार्यभावे विचारतः. So if I break this sandhi, karye karanata, ayata karane, nahi karyata, karanatvam tatah gachet karya bhave vicharataha. So everywhere if you see karana karya, karana karya. Okay, now this is a little tricky verse, but it's a path-breaking verse. Okay, come, let's understand this. So this is where I may not delve into the depth of this. Maybe we'll try to take this in the next class. We'll see how it goes. Okay. So here in verse number 135, let's understand in simple words. And if anybody has a doubt, now I would like to make this very clear. Please send me a recording. What we'll do is we'll take it up in the class and to the benefit of everybody. See, sometimes, you know, we have a doubt, but we don't know how to put it in words. So if anybody has got a doubt, I would welcome questions and we will take up in the class. Okay. Now what this says, we didn't read the translation. The cause is concurrent and inherent in the effects and not the effects in the cause. Therefore, by logic it is clear that in the absence of effects, the cause as such also cannot remain. What is he trying to tell us over here? A very deep shloka this is. As I told you, next few shlokas are on those lines. Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya. Brahman alone is the supreme reality, the truth, and the Jagat is an appearance. It is false. Okay. Now let's go back to our pot and clay example. That's best suited over here. Or you can take gold and gold ornament, but we'll take pot and clay. Stage 1, you have a pot. Now thereafter we'll compare it to Jagat and Brahman. Okay. First let's understand this concept. There is a pot. This is stage 1. You are able to see the pot, which has got a nama and a rupa, a name and a form. Now next stage is, as you see the pot, you see that yes, I can see to my understanding that this pot is an effect and there is a cause for this. How did this pot come? How did this wave come in the ocean? From the water in the ocean. How did a gold ornament come? From the gold with the goldsmith. So this pot is an effect and the cause for this pot is nothing but clay. Clear? This is the second stage. Now we come to the third stage. You take the pot. You are a clever person, a spiritual advanced sadhak. You know many things. You have heard about karya karana, meaning cause and effect in depth. You have taken the pot and you examine the pot now. You put your hand inside. It's all clay. Outside all clay. Top, bottom, everywhere it is clay and clay alone. And then you say, what is this? Firstly, I thought it was a pot, but now there is clay only here. Pot is falsified. Very clear. See, you have to use that judgmental capacity. There is something, and this whole study of Vedanta is going from a lower reality to a higher reality. Mind that. There is all along there is reality, but you are going to higher realities. That's all. So, from a dream you come to waking, and from waking you come to an awakened state. In the same way, here what happens, now you understood, okay, although this looks to me like a pot, but I don't see anything other than clay. So the pot is falsified and the clay alone is real. After the third stage, then he comes. Now he stops using the word pot. Clay alone is real. That is the fourth stage. There is no other reality than clay in whatever I am seeing over here. Okay, so this particular verse says, the cause is concurrent and inherent in the effects and not the effects in the cause. Now let's decipher this. Means there is a cause and from that cause comes various effects. Next principle. Effects are pervaded by the cause. Next principle. The cause can remain without the effects. Next principle. The effects cannot be there without the cause. So what is the final reality over here? The effects have got no reality, but it is the cause, and cause alone has got reality. Now this is taking us somewhere else. Please pay your attention and understand. what Bhagavan Shankaracharya is telling over here. So the next sentence goes, therefore by logic it is clear that in the absence of effects, the cause as such cannot remain. Now, how do you understand this? Let me see the shloka, what translation is given over there. I'll keep it open so that you can read. Okay. The nature of the cause inherits in the effect and not vice versa. So, though reasoning it is found that in the absence of the effect, the cause also disappears. Now, how do you understand? He says when there is no effect, the cause as such also disappears. Which means, now taking the same cause and effect, the clay and the pot, what is happening over here? He is saying, okay, the effect which is the pot has come from the clay. And the clay alone is pervading the pot. The pot can be there only if the clay exists. But if the clay doesn't exist, the pot cannot be there. However, the pot can be there even if the clay can be there even if the pot doesn't exist. But the second sentence here it says, in the absence of the effect, the cause as such also disappears. So it is going against what we have heard so far, isn't it? What have we heard so far? Me as this body, this person, I am the effect of what? The cause. And what is that cause? Brahman. How has Brahman brought me as a human being or this world into existence? Is through his Maya Shakti, with the Panchabhutas, with the same principles what we talk about, tab or FEV, frequency, energy and vibration. He has brought this whole universe into existence. So, the reality of this world is nothing but the reality Brahman. If the effects, which is the world, is not there, then naturally, where is the cause? You mean to say if the pot is not there, the clay is gone? Now, that is what we need to understand over here. That's where I see this as a very deep shloka. Now, how do I understand this? I am a human being, ignorant till a point of time. After getting this knowledge, I realize that I am none other than that Supreme Being. Otherwise, it's not my capacity to have a human body with such magnificent qualities, so much of working happening within the body, lakhs and lakhs of compositions are happening every second inside the body, so much of intelligence happening. So it is none other than that reality appearing as this person. Okay. But if I am not there, that means what? The reality is not there. The shloka is talking about that. Absence of the effect, which is the creation, the cause, which is Brahman, also disappears. Now, here the great inner meaning to this, what I could understand. In fact, this is not mentioned in any of these commentaries over here, but my personal understanding, how I understand this is, see, as a soul, a sadhak, now when I understand my true self to be that supreme reality, which means you have become one with that reality. When you become one with that reality, automatically what happens? There is no effect. You have merged with the cause. But here this shloka says that that cause also disappears, meaning what happens? You go to the next level from the from the manifest, you move on to the unmanifest. He is giving an indication over here. If you mean that you are in Brahman, that also is in that reality, which is the reflected consciousness, don't stay there. You know what was the effect of the outcome, your effect? You have understood now? Your effect is person, cause is that a Brahman, you have understood that, but that also is manifest. And manifest has happened by the power of Maya, Prakriti. You have another stage to go where you, from the manifest stage of Supreme Reality. What if you remember, we have spoken about the Pinda and Brahmanda. Now from the Pinda you merge into the Brahmanda, and now the Brahmanda will merge into the Avyakta, unmanifest. You have to raise yourself. And even this creation, what is there? This entire creation, all that goes into the unmanifest. That is the ultimate truth and reality. Okay, so we'll take 136 and then I'll revisit tomorrow 135, 136 and we'll continue. Because there is something which here it connects, this particular verse 136 connects. So don't feel disheartened if you have not understood, or if you are feeling that this is too heavy. I'll make it clear in the next class, because as I forewarned you, it is a little heavy subject, and let's take it in the right stride. Okay, 136. Ata shuddham bhavet vastuhu yadvai vacha yatvai vacham. I am going to split here. Yatvai vacham agocharam drishtyam mat drishtam mridhagatena drishtantena eva punah punah. Then that pure reality, that is Brahman, which is beyond speech, alone remains. See, here he has already landed in the unmanifest. This should be understood again and again, verily through the illustration of earth and the pot. Earth is clay and the pot. So the meaning what I have got here is, thereafter the pure Brahman remains, which is beyond speech. This should be realized, pondering over that again and again through the example of mud and pot, or which is clay and pot. So this sadhak, what he is doing now? He has come out of the anatma bhava. Yes, all this is what? It's nothing but the pot which is made out of that clay. Every bit of my body, every cell, every atom is nothing but that God particle. And when I know that I am none other than that God particle, okay, I have come out of the mithya jiva, bhava, and now I am in the higher state. I am still in the, from the Pindanda I have merged into Brahmanda now. But then they said even that Brahmanda is also at the cosmic level. That also is an effect of what? The true cause. Now here it is explained in the next verse, which is, you take this example of mud and pot and know what? That Brahman which is beyond speech. There it comes again. Vacharambam vikaro namadeyam mrittika eva satyam, which is told in the Chandogya Upanishad. The teacher says Look, my dear child, all the names in the world are just only words. Name is for a cause, and name is for the cause. Thus, whether you say a pot or a cup or a jug or a wall, they are all only words, mere words, but all of them are nothing but the cause, which is the clay. Again, a profound verse. Now, here we will try to decipher this and take it further. So when you, as I told you, to some it may bring in questions, but to some it will give answers, depending on where you are. Now you are able to, from the anatma, you have already come to the atma bhava. Okay, I know for sure that I am not this person. How can I be? How can I create such a person, a human body? No, it's beyond my realm. So when I have lost my identity, but then Bhagavan Shankaracharya says, don't stop here. Go to the next level. What is that level? Vacharambam. You cannot speak by words. That is something which you cannot speak by words, you cannot explain, nor you can understand. So that is where I was guided by the simple principle, neti neti, neti neti, not this, not this, not this. Anything which comes to your mind, not this. Simple answer. Meditate on this, not this principle, and you will land in the true principle, because that cannot be explained. This is the best technique, I'll tell you. Anything which you are seeing is anatma, is mithya. Our knowledge has to be appropriate here. You know, some people talk, many people are there. Many things are available on the social media today to understand. But without knowing what they are talking, from where they are talking. See, sometimes you come across a short 2-minute clip. Now that clip is taken from a larger lecture. What is the context given in that lecture? Now you listen, you do. Without the context, you listen to that 2-minute clip. And you may misunderstand what is being told. And it so happened in Dakshineshwar. There was a monk. This is during Sri Ramakrishna's time. He heard from the other disciples that, look, this particular monk is always, he tells lies. So one day, he kind-hearted Sri Ramakrishna. He was listening and not listening also. One day it so happened this monk came and told a lie to Sri Ramakrishna, straight. And he was caught. And Sri Ramakrishna said to him, you are a monk and you're telling lies. He says, what are we learning, Thakurji? They address him as Thakurji. What are we learning? Jagat Mithya. Jagat Mithya means the world entirely is a lie. And in such a world where everything is false, everything is a lie, if I tell a lie, what happens? Why are we making such a big scene out of this? So there is nothing wrong. In a world of lies, telling lies doesn't make any difference. And they say that Sri Ramakrishna was dumbfolded, he says, listening to such a person who is become a monk and he was practicing as a sannyasin. This is his understanding about life. So we have to be careful on those lines. All these sometimes, they don't give the right perspective. You have to be very clear where we are going and how we are going, what we are understanding. So that's the reason why I'm telling this story is, don't keep anything in your mind. You have to clarify it then and there. So that's why I proposed you all can send questions and how to take them forward depending on, we should not miss our path as well. Some questions are very deep. So how to take them, when to take them. I'll try to see and make good, but not to carry it outside. Go ahead. Okay. So we will start again with 135 and 136, because now in 135 what we'll be doing is the cause and effect which is shown over here, the pot and clay. So the pot is obviously Jagat, clay is obviously Brahman. How do you relate this now over there? Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. How do we relate over there? And how can I experience that Brahma Tattva in everyday life, in every aspect? Because we all are nothing but the effects of that supreme reality. What more you want? We are already there, but we don't know. That's the problem we have over here. So let's get to that reality in depth and understand it. Okay? Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. We take verse 56. Ajo Mahaarhah Swabhavyo Jitamitra Pramodanah Anando Nandano Nandaha Satyadharma Trivikramaha. 522. Mahaarhah, one who deserves the highest worship. Arha means puja, worship. Mahaarhah, one who deserves the highest worship. And 523, Swabhaavah is ever rooted in the nature of his own self. One who is the uncaused cause, the God. Ever rooted always in his true nature. To such a divine reality, we offer our humble salutations, seek his grace, mercy, and blessings. Shri Dhanvantari Mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidaya Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidaya Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidaya Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Now, come. Let's read the Brahmavidya now from the Bhagavatam. So, where were we now? King Chitraketu, after he spoke to his son, the so-called that small child who was dead because of poisoning, and there Narad Muni who was there, who came and he brought him to life, and what the dead prince he spoke, and without caring he just went away. That is the Atman basically. So Chitraketu, he got a flavor. Oh, what was that? We were yelling, the whole palace is yelling, the whole kingdom is crying in shatters. And he says, with his mind cleared as a pond because of the words of Angiras and Narada, they left his country and wandered away like an elephant who abandons a lake filled with mire. Okay? Now next is Brahmavidya. As they are told, we had earlier come to give you Brahmavidya. Angiras, who had come in the previous visit, he saw that there was a huge craving by King Chitraketu for having a child in his life. He says, that is one thing which I don't have. And that one thing is enough to take you off track. So you need that perseverance, that real guts to Viveka Shakti to understand what you want in life. Not to be just like all others who pursue things. You have to be something special. No, I want this at any cost. And there Angirasa tells him, I had come to give you, but I felt you were not eligible because you had a strong desire to have a son. So I gave you a son. Now the son is gone and you saw what that son did to you. He just told you that, what is this? Who are you? He asked that father who is crying, who are you? In my next life, what are you going to be there? You're there, you're not there, who knows? Why are we after somebody where there is no connection at all? We have made that connection so strong in this life and we are living on it. Okay, so now Brahmavidya, he is told you go to so and so place. Now it starts. I'll read verbatim. King Chitraketu reached the banks of the river Yamuna. Having bathed in its holy waters, he sat down in meditation. He thought of the two rishis and invoking them mentally, he saluted them in his mind. Narada appeared before him and he was accompanied by Angirasa. They taught the king the mantra which they had promised. The mantra which would help him to reach the presence of Adishesha. They blessed the king and went away. Chitraketu repeated the mantra for 7 days and 7 nights. His food was water and nothing else. On the 7th night, he became a Vidyadhara. That is the title he gets because of that continuous repetition of the mantra. His mind had now become clear and bright. How it had become, it is the same mind, isn't it? How it was so clear and bright because of all the reactions which happen in the body when you do fasting, elongated fasting. On the 7th night, he became a Vidyadhara. In a few days, he reached the presence of the seer, Adishesha, which is said to be the other form of the Lord. Pleased with the praises of the king, Adishesha said, I am very pleased with your devotion. Narada and Angiras had asked you to come to me for knowledge. I will teach you the Brahmavidya which will clear your mind and rid you forever of the veil called Maya. See, we all are covered with that veil. What we need is the Brahmavidya. Okay. So now he says, this entire universe is pervaded by me. See? Meaning, as the clay has pervaded the entire pot. Now taking the Brahman and the Jagat example, Brahman has pervaded the entire universe. So he says the entire universe is pervaded by me. I am the seer, the seen and the process of seeing. This is the Triputi. In the, I'm explaining this. In this Triputi, what is happening? There is a seer and he is seeing something and there is a process called a seeing. Okay. Drashta, Drishya and Drishyam. These are the 3 things which is there. He says all that is me. So from the Jiva Bhava, when you go to the Drashta Bhava, now there you have to cross this Triputi. That was what we are learning now. Since I am both the seer, the seen, the Drashta and the Drishtam, there is no difference between the two. I invest myself in the object and I enter the frame of the seer, I myself. When we say we are already there, but we don't know. Okay. So I enter the frame of the seer. There is no difference between the two. Remember, we are talking about the Brahmavidya here. All along what we have learnt, you see the parallels. There is on one hand the world of objects, and on the other there is the one who enjoys the world of objects. Since both are in reality the same, since both are myself in two different forms, there is no difference between two. I pervade both. I will elaborate on this theme with a simile of a dream and a dreamer. When he is sleeping, a man sees a world of trees, mountains, and many other objects. You can actually make this a meditation. You can sit in a frame of meditation with eyes closed, and you can raise your inhale and exhale, do your breathing, and take this knowledge deep within. This is a meditation per se. It stands to reason that this entire world is created by him alone, by his mind, and it has no existence apart from him. And again in the dream itself, man dreams of being awake, or of being in some spot other than where he laid down to sleep. One who is sleeping in a house in Kosala can well dream of something happening to him in Gandhara. These are the countries. These are all common experiences of a dreamer. If you shift the viewpoint and consider Atman as the dreamer, then this world becomes something else than what it appears to an ordinary man. To one who has realized the Brahman, this world assumes the semblance of a dream. The entire world is created by the dreamer, which is the Atman, as against the other world of dreams created by the sleeping mind of man. And when he wakes up from his dream, meaning when he realizes that he is awakened, the Atman will then know that the entire world of objects is but illusion, Maya. A man passes through these three stages. He is awake, he is dreaming, or he is in deep sleep. These three stages occur one after another regularly to everyone. When he is awake, the dream world does not exist for him. When he is dreaming, the waking world does not exist. In the deep sleep stage, both these conditions are absent. But throughout these three stages or states, there is something which says, I am awake, I am sleeping, I was in deep sleep. It is that which is the Atman, and that is you and I. I am there in everyone, and once you realize this truth, there is afterwards no cause for pleasure or pain, or any of the opposites, since the world of plurality vanishes. To you, all things will look alike. The trees and the blade of grass, the mountain and the grain of sand, since everything is but the one and only Atman, which is you. You cannot differentiate between two things, since you know that both are the same. The state that which makes you see everything as pervaded by me is the Brahmi state. Whenever this truth is forgotten, then the soul gets involved in the world of objects. And forgetting its real nature, it becomes a victim to the play of the opposites. It will have no peace. The wise should therefore strive for the attainment of this equanimity, this capability to look on everything as similar. Everything should look alike to one who is proficient in the Brahmavidya. The wise man should first learn the art of detachment. This is the first step to the path of freedom, to the state which is called the Brahmi state. In a world of men, people strive to attain happiness and they try to avoid unhappiness. All the actions they perform have only this end in view: happiness and the escape from unhappiness. But strangely enough, the result is not what they expect. Neither do they achieve any happiness, nor is there any freedom for them from pain and unhappiness. A man who strives for something must really strive to realize that one thing, that which is common to the three states, which are waking, dream and deep sleep. O king, realize that this truth is me. Man should concentrate his thoughts on me, meditate on me, ponder on this teaching of mine, and he will soon reach me and become one with me. Now Adishesha disappeared from his sight, and the king was filled with peace, which is beyond all understanding. What kind of peace? Beyond all understanding. He was happy and he knew that he could never be unhappy again, because that pierced into his mind. In that state of extended fasting and penance and the blessings of Maharishi Angiras and Narad Muni, this knowledge, he says, I will never be unhappy. See, there it's showing that he is already enlightened. Chitraketu then travelled in the skies, mounted on a chariot which would fly. Immediately gets that. Thousands of years passed happily for him, who had no attachments and hence no pain. He spent his time in singing the praises of the Lord, and so time passed by. This is the story till the point where now it is Chitraketu who has been enlightened and who is going on in a chariot which could fly in the skies, singing the praises of the Lord. But now where is Vritrasura still? Now that we will take up. Now we have only another 2 pages of story, and I promise to conclude this in the next class. This is the mind-boggling story finally. From where did Vritrasura come, and how was it that he was so noble and so famous of being a Narayana Bhakta? How did that happen? We will see in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Together we offer today's Jnana Yajna at the lotus feet of the Almighty, to to seek His grace, mercy and blessings. Naham karta, Hari Preranaya, Hari Prityartam. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Idam Namama. Om Tat Sat. Okay, so good evening to all of you once again. So practice is the key word. Rest we are all doing everything else. Only practice. Now get into action. Frame your questions and let us go to the next and the last. I think we all must be in the penultimate level. We have to reach the ultimate level now. Hari
Om. Akartaham abhoktaham ahamevahamavyayah niradharasvarupoham sarvadharohamevacha aptakamasvarupoham ahamevahamavyayah tapatraya vinirmuktah dehatraya vilakshanah avasthatraya sakshyasmi ahamevahamavyayah drishyau dvau padarthau stah paravilakshano Brahmadrishyam mayeti sarvavedantadindimaha aham sakshiti yo vidyād vividyaivam punah punah sa eva muktas sa vidvan iti vedantadindimaha घटकुड्यादिकं सर्वं मृत्तिकामात्रमेव च तद्वद्ब्रह्म जगत्सर्वम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः ब्रह्म सत्यं जगन्मिथ्या जीवो ब्रह्मैव नापरः अनेन वेद्यं सच्छास्त्रम् इति वेदान्तडिण्डिमः अन्तर्ज्योति बहिर्ज्योतिः प्रत्यग्ज्योतिः परात्परः ज्योतिज्योति स्वयं ज्योतिः आत्मज्योतिशिवोऽस्म्यहम् ज्योतिज्योति स्वयं ज्योतिः Atmajyoti